Hey there, everybody. Welcome to our new review of AGT All-Stars. We're going to react to everything that broke down in this episode. There was a lot of really, really good stuff. I mean, Peter Rosalita made his return to the show.
Yeah, there was a lot of good stuff. And then there was Peter. He is so talented. Oh my goodness. I absolutely loved seeing him.
Yeah. I love Peter. I love Tom Ball. I love pretty much the good 4 or 5 of the acts. And this is going to be an interesting video because sometimes we come on here and we like yell at the super fans, and we'll still do a little bit of that here. But at the same time, I really want to just yell at the show itself. Like I have a pretty sizable rant that I have like built up in my gut, and I'm just waiting to just unleash.
Yeah, we gonna rant about Peter Rosalita not going through. I mean, like, really? Who are these super fans? We need to talk. We need to talk.
All right, well, before we have the talk, go ahead, hit that subscribe button. You know, we're going to have more coverage through the rest of this season. We don't want you guys to miss any of that.
He is such a beautiful singer. He is so young, but his voice is so versatile. And Peter picked a really great song because it showed how soft his voice can be, how big it can be, all the different range of what he can do. I was shocked that he did not go through, like shocked. I couldn't believe it. Like I was like jaw on the floor. How did this happen? Pick me up off the floor.
The funniest thing about this is I felt pretty convinced at one point that he was going to go through. I mean,
I was positive.
Like, obviously, he's phenomenal. Like, that part of it, you know, just by virtue of that, I thought so. But even just, like, going through and sort of reading the tea leaves of this episode, a lot of episodes of AGT All-Star so far, like, the person who has started the night has ended up either being a serious contender or gone through. I mean, we saw this with Power Duo just on, like, this past episode, who we also loved. Like, So I really felt good about Peter for the majority of this episode. And this is where I get into the major beef with AGT itself. Because, yes, the super fans are a problem, but you're also a problem by being like only 2 acts per episode. Why is there no semifinals? Like, why are we not like at least doing it so that we get to see some favorites for at least like one other round? Because I would argue there were about 4 really, really great, really deserving acts in this episode, and you're just like cutting out half of them that would have advanced probably easily on another episode.
I agree. Like the Taekwondo demonstration troupe. Yeah. Wow.
Yes.
They were so amazing. Like, I think it's really hard when we have shows like All-Stars or Champions where there's like so much talent and not everyone can go through, but just the same. Yeah, 2 out of the talent that was on this episode tonight, it is just a robbery for everybody.
Yeah, like, I would go so far here as to really say, if you think back to, like, the first episode of this season, I would have put you know, Tom Ball, I would have put World Taekwondo, I would have put Peter.
Oh, like Peter for sure.
Yeah, I would have put Anna Maria, the ventriloquist who did it. I would have put any of them through from that first episode. But because of where they got placed, we got a situation where Peter's getting screwed for really no apparent reason other than that maybe the super fans just didn't want to put 2 singers through to the next round because Tom already had the golden buzzer, and then they were just like, man, we need some variety. And I usually am on here hating on singers sometimes because I feel like there's too many of them. And here I am being like, there should have been 2 singers. I'm a hypocrite.
Yeah, no, I think it's just a situation where, I mean, we already have like a lot of balancing acts and aerial acts. And normally there's always a million singers going through. But when you have somebody as young as Peter with the talent that he already has, like, I wonder if it's almost like the super fans are kind of like, he's young, he's going to have lots of opportunities to continue to go through, where it's kind of like, I got to say, that's unfair if that's the way that they're thinking about it. Like, it doesn't matter what age you are. If you're at the level of talent that Peter's at now, then it shouldn't be kind of like, oh, he's got plenty of time. I mean, we had 2 kid acts up against each other, you know, at the sort of final 2 as well. And I mean, the ventriloquist, I mean, she's she's great.
Yeah.
It's hard to say, and it's not like, oh, she's not worthy of going through. I mean, she's a very young person with an incredible talent that
Yeah.
not only is she able to just voice the puppet, she's able to sing as the puppet, sing as herself. I mean, that is not easy.
No, like she's really, really good. This the part of this that baffles me with her is just you guys didn't put through Terry, who basically she says in her package, like, oh, Terry's one of the reasons why I got into this. It's like, okay, so you're basically being like, hey, mentor who revolutionized singing ventriloquism, you're not good enough, but here, we're gonna put your teenage protege here, Anna Maria, through instead. Okay, well, fine.
Yeah, that's where I'm gonna put my tinfoil hat back on from our very first video. If you haven't seen that, we'll link that for you below. But like, I just feel like Terry's too big for the show. He's been in Vegas, you know, year after year. He's making so much money. He's got other things, and I just think he wanted to come back to the show, but he didn't or wasn't able to stay. Like that whole episode with Terry not going through, what? And then now you're gonna have, basically his protege going through. It's kind of like, well, Terry is better than her, so how did that not happen, but this is happening? It's like, all right, no, tinfoil hat. I think something else was going on.
It's really, really weird. And I want to go back to what you said about Peter and maybe this like perception from the super fans that, oh, you know, he's young, he'll have plenty of opportunities. It's like, yeah, I'm sure that's going to be the case. He can get like 1 billion, you know, hits on anything that he does because he's that good. But it's like he could also get 1 billion hits on AGT All-Stars because you could have put him through and then we would have been in a better spot moving forward.
Yeah, I think that really a lot of this is just, and I don't know what the solution is. So, you know, if you've got a solution, guys, leave it in the comments. But it just feels a lot like the voting and the way that this is all sort of put together is part of the issue. And I understand that it's not live for, you know, all of America to call in or vote or text in your votes or whatever. And it's just the super fans, which we assume is the audience. They're not that open with who they actually are. But I mean, there needs to be a different voting system. There are some acts that are going through over other acts where I'm just like, I don't understand what's happening. Like the Bellows sisters over Terry Fader. How is that happening? And that's not saying that the Bellows sisters aren't great, but they're not Terry Fader. So how are these choices being made? Here though, I mean, like I said, it's a very tough situation because she was great. Peter's amazing. It was a tough choice.
We should just all have the expectation that what AGT All-Stars is giving us a lot of the time is nonsense. And we don't know what any of it means. We don't know why people are voting. We just have to take it for what it is, be annoyed. Okay, here's the one thing that I won't be annoyed about in all of this. And, you know, I've waited like 9 minutes to give Tom Ball his flowers because I love Peter and I love him. I didn't see him on Britain's Got Talent. I've watched it here or there over the years, but like The Sound of Silence is to me like the greatest song ever written. So I'm always going to have this like predisposed bias to anyone who does it. And he kind of did, like, if those who have heard the Disturbed version of it, and not that I'm not calling that an adjective. It is the group Disturbed who did The Sound of Silence. But this was a little bit similar to that, but he changed a couple of the notes. And I was just like, man, you are freaking phenomenal. Like, you are really, really good and strong. It just like blew me, like Peter blew me away, and then Tom comes in, it blows me away. And it's just like, you guys have two of the best vocal talents you probably ever had on any Got Talent show, like worldwide. You put them both in the same episode.
Yeah, Tom was really incredible. He really was. It was just there was so much talent in this episode that I think it comes back to something you said earlier, which is just sending only 2 people through per episode when there's so much talent jammed in. Like it feels almost like there needs to be 2 episodes a week where we have like 4 people from an episode go through, and then the next day you get an extra performance, and then all of America gets to vote. There has to be something a little bit different if they're going to do this again.
If for whatever reason they need to cut a couple of acts in order to make sure we can see a couple of really good acts more, I will be okay if I do not watch Jumbo Dump, like, make noises with their bellies every single time. I mean, congrats, guys. You found something that is very unique to you. I don't need to see it. I'm good.
Yeah, it was fine.
Okay, well, that is our take on this episode. Peter Rosalita, you got the shaft. We're sorry. It would have been great to see you again. But hit that subscribe button, guys, because we do have a lot more AGT All-Stars coverage coming, and we will see you here next time.